elderly us to be a school teacher forever and a day at school. Go ahead and call the meeting order. If we could rise for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Atchison.
Here.
Mr. Bray. Here. Mrs. Brimmer is excused tonight. Mr. Conley. Here. Ms. Foster.
Here.
Mr. Hall. Here. The Hope and Perry will show up there. Mr. Laws.
Here.
Perfect. I'll call. Mr. Hopkins.
Here.
We know we did. Comment only beat you by 2 minutes. All right. So if we could, let's take a quick look at our May 3rd minutes from that meeting, and need a motion to approve those minutes.
And a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any questions or comments on those? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion to approve our agenda for this evening? So moved. Second. Any comments on the agenda? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Public comments. Time for any of our citizens who'd like to step up and address us. Please.
Everyone except you.
Oh, ooh.
It'll be first then. Dwayne McIntyre, 350 Needleway. I think I can say that. I have a mailbox up now. Just going to give you an update on the new library. We have narrowed it down last night to 2 contractors, so we're getting close. So next Tuesday, we're going to have an interview process and try to narrow it down to 1. Somebody had a comment. So we're getting close. We have the DEQ permit, so we have that in hand. We have the plan review done with the building inspector. So we're very close to get started. So part of our interviewing is going to be when can they start, and we have some links of times with contractors, how long it's going to take, but it looks like it's going to be somewhere in the 200 to 230 days roughly to build it. So we're getting very, very close. And so hopefully next month I can tell you who, if I'm in town, and what's going on, but maybe by then it'll be in the paper. But we do have renderings going to be coming up pretty soon for the corner. We've seen that. I think they've approved that. And then, what else have I been working on here? Nikki and Company is in process. They're moving right along. They've put just about through their plan review, hopefully tomorrow. But they've gotten their plumbing permits and got going on that. And the Brook, which came back, in the winter, I think it was. We just signed another extension, so they're still in the process. We just don't know what the process is, but they, as far as we know, they're still coming, and they're just down the road a little further.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you. Anyone else?
We've never done this before. I'm not even sure if we're doing it right, so you guys let us know. This is Kim Anderson. I'm Sarah McKinney. Kim went to City Hall to ask about opening a grooming salon, and was told that they weren't allowed. That it wasn't on the ordinances. So we wondered how we can get this changed, or what we can do to have this reviewed, because grooming salon isn't even listed in what is not allowed. So verbiage isn't there. So are we in the right place at the right time?
Yes. So, well, I don't know that we can give you an answer necessarily tonight, but we can certainly So what location are you looking for? Do you have a location
Well,
in mind?
we were looking at the place, we initially looked at the place beside the karate place.
Okay, so right on Main Street, so the B2 downtown.
And the other place was, this
Old red flannel building.
Okay, right on. Okay, I think that's the same zone, I think. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So grooming, as in like pet grooming.
Yes.
salon.
Okay. Right. Right on. Yeah. Do you know who you spoke with?
Pardon me?
Do you know who you spoke with? No.
Yeah, I have it down under the administrative items to discuss the
No. Okay.
possible ways of handling it.
Okay. Well, there you go. So we'll make some progress. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. We do not have any scheduled public hearings for tonight or any new business, so we will move to an old business item. If you'll recall, in May, we sort of, kind of, preliminarily approved or looked at the site plan for advanced hydrovac, and we were not in a spot where we could finalize that approval, so we are now at that spot. So, first of all, just so we can discuss it, can I have a motion for us to approve that site plan?
I would make a motion to approve the site plan for Advanced Hydrovac Inc.
Okay. Second. Okay. All right, so Carmen, anything changed from last month that we need to be aware of?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did rewrite the site plan review letter, the new one dated June 3rd, and have indicated the discussion that we had at the last planning commission meeting, where, and comments from the applicant, for example, that they will, they're going to meet the building height, and some of the other items like the storage yard. I did dig a little deeper and talk to Linda about the outdoor storage, and based on a further description of what they're doing at the planning commission, I feel comfortable saying they don't need a special land use for that they can just have that as an accessory to their permitted use. So I took one hurdle out of that was located in front of them. The letter also indicates, for example, that you've allowed them to curb one side of the drive, not both, so that they can get the snow removal taken care of. You found the building materials acceptable for that property, given the setback from the road in particular. And so the big issue that I've been working with them on is that they made application to the zoning board of appeals to get the split they had shown approved, get a variance for that, so they're really requesting two variances. One would be a variance from the lot depth to width ratio, and also for the frontage that's allowed. And one of the conditions in the recommendation to the zoning board of appeals will be that they submit a shared entryway with the property that is directly in front of them or to the south of them, and that they have a shared drive into the site, and that there be excess easement agreements that designate that they're going to continue to be shared in the future, and that it'll be jointly maintained. And we're looking for it to be offset. They really didn't have time to get all the drawings put together before the letter had to go out, so that's something that we're looking for as a condition of approval. So we are recommending approval, and there are 5 items on there we'd like for you to add as conditions. One is approval of a variance for the lot split from the zoning board of appeals, and filing of an access easement agreement with a shared entry drive for review and approval of the city attorney prior to filing with the county. Number 2, submission of a revised site plan that addresses the detail items in here that we've discussed, and they've been working with the engineer on the stormwater, because they had a couple different options they were looking at. And obviously we're going to need to see the drive in there. Number 3, planning commission acceptance of curbing along one side of the entry drive. Number 4, planning commission acceptance of the proposed building materials. And then last but not least, the review and approval from the other applicable departments and agencies. So really, other than the getting the variance from the zoning board of appeals and, just detailing the remaining site plan items, there's really nothing in the way of the project that's kind of the big thing right now.
Do you have any questions for Carmen on that?
I thought on the curbing gutter that we just eliminated
On the driveway.
on the driveway. That was there was no talk of doing just one side. There was no need for curbing the other.
Rolled asphalt gutter on both sides instead of concrete.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I know on the plan they'd shown it on one side, and I thought that was a discussion. I didn't realize
Yeah,
there
I was just looking at my notes from last time, I just had crossed that out. All drives have curb and gutter, so I think that we said that we would not do that, not have any curb.
I was surprised to see the mention of one curb on one side. I didn't think that's what we had said.
No, it was eliminated out.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I didn't recall the discussion about taking the curb because they'd shown it on the plan. That's why it was on there. So that's your call.
Was on the plan when that would be easily done.
Okay. Right. Okay. So,
Mr. Chairman, just one thing, because you already made the motion, if we could have that motion amended to include the conditions and the letter dated
so,
June 30th.
since you made the motion, you want to amend that?
We would delete item number 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I motion to approve site plan for advanced hydrovac with the deletion of number 3 of Carvin and Bettini, our planner's recommendation letter.
All right. Yes, sir.
I just want to validate, number 5, talks about other applicable departments and agencies. Is that taking into consideration the engineering?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure that we don't have to include that separately.
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, the reason that that's a kind of standard item in every letter is because we can't anticipate either with any use, not this particular use, but where they may need some kind of other permit from the state agency or something like that, from the county, whatever it might be, and that pretty much covers everything. So,
Yeah, he had mentioned some other things down there. I just want to make sure we didn't miss that.
yeah.
Okay. You want to second that? Okay. All right, so we have an amended motion on the approval of the site plan and the seconding of that. So any other comments or discussion on that site plan? Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Good to go.
Very good.
Here's what it looks like.
We have it here.
This is
That's
the one
nicer to
that's-
read.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, the shared driveway?
Yeah, that's a shared driveway and easy
Oh, yeah.
access.
There's a little jog, but it's
Yeah,
great.
it lines up with the driveway across the road. That was the big issue with the driveways, were government driveways to line up.
Good. Right, thanks.
Can you make sure that that's either emailed to me? So
I sent it to you today.
Oh, did you? Okay, I didn't see it. All right, great.
Probably after you left, it's in the drive.
All right.
So that's planned on that.
So, Linda, any correspondence?
No.
Okay. Our city manager, any comments from you?
No, I'm just going to come up for a minute to introduce
Sure.
myself. My name is Barb Van Duren, and I've been with the city of Cedar Springs for 1 week as interim city manager. I've been in city management for 26 years, started at the city of Wayland, which is comparable to Cedar Springs, and then moved to the city of Wyoming for my last 15 years. And retired from there 18 months ago and decided to give interim management a shot. So here I am. Learning a lot about the staff, which is an awesome staff. I've been able to work with them on a few things, but really just kind of getting my feet wet and figuring out what's going on. You have a lot going on with the library and the proposed development. Seems like everyone loves the city. There's a lot of good intentions here. So I hope that in my time here, before we, or the council hires a new city manager, I can be of some assistance. As I say, I'm not going to build a road or reinvent anything, but I hope to keep things moving forward for you. My office is open. I'm here Monday through Thursday during the day. Stop in and see me. Give me a call if you have any questions. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any comments from you?
Short meeting. I'm just hoping on this will be done for the week, because last night was kind of short, we got one more on Thursday, and that one's gonna be shorter.
Good question.
I don't know what person.
Maybe, the 12th, I believe. No? The 5th.
The fifth is the first
Yeah,
week,
no, I will not be here.
yeah, the fifth is the next week.
Well, what's everybody else's preference? Everybody else in town available?
Yeah.
I'm open as far as I know, but
Too early to tell.
Well, for the sake of any business that might be on the agenda, we just need to let everybody know as soon as you possibly can, so if there's something on there, we have a chance to change it ahead of time.
Yeah.
For clarification, who's gonna check into that grooming thing?
He's gonna address it this moment.
You're
Yep.
gonna check it?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
Right. I might not be around.
All right, so if it looks like we might not have a quorum, then we might have to switch that, so if, we got 2 no's and a meeting right now.
Just move it to the 12th.
I think Bradford Ambulance is going to be ready with their site plan in July.
Right.
Well, I'll be on vacation that week.
How about if anybody,
I can come back.
about the third Tuesday.
I got a meeting the third Tuesday.
let's try, as of right now, even if we're missing those 3, we still would have a quorum, so let's just try to keep it on the 5th if we can. So if something comes up in your schedule, let Linda know so that we can try to have enough time to announce the change of date for schedule. Okay. Any comments from the commissioners? All right. Are you doing the council report?
We had a special meeting last night where we selected 4 more candidates for interviewing for the city manager, and that will be on the 17th at 10 o'clock here.
And it's Friday?
Friday the 17th here at 10. We have 4 more candidates we'll interview, and then from there we can look back at possibly some of the others, or some new ones here.
Okay.
About it. A lot of things happening.
Right, so Carmen, you want to address that grooming issue and then whatever else you've got?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in looking at pet grooming, and I looked at the ordinance, and when we did the list of uses, pages and pages long, we looked at envisioning whatever might be out there. We're obviously never perfect. At times, we go back and amend that list of uses. I looked for a similar use here, and regarding just pets, really was closest, because we have kennels and we have pet boarding facilities. Pet boarding facilities also include grooming, but pet boarding is a much more intense activity than just plain grooming. And my own experience with pet grooming, besides normal, doggy daycare type places, is I know in Royal Oak, downtown Royal Oak, they actually have one in the storefront in the downtown area. And actually people stop quite a bit to see, the pets and the dogs and stuff, because they usually have a setup in the window for at least one of them, so when people walk by, they can see how good the dog looks, or cat, or whatever it might be after the stuff. And so I've seen instances where grooming, pet grooming has been allowed in the central business district in the downtown area and doesn't seem to have any real negative impacts. So two things. One is we need to really take a look at the table of uses and add pet grooming to it. And then we're going to also have to look at what districts it's appropriate in. And I guess for now, it's going to be your call as to whether you want to wait and amend the table, or if you want to determine that it's, similar to people getting your hair groomed. As long as, that's your call. And once again, there's a couple of different options. I've seen grooming in the central business district. It's allowed in the highway commercial. It's allowed in the mixed use, the pet boarding facility. It's allowed in industrial. So there's other B3. It's allowed in other higher intensity zoning districts. But how you want to handle it and what way you want to handle it, I think is what I'll need some feedback from you on.
We've had them in town before.
We got one across the street.
Yeah.
There was also one in the Curves building across from the current location they're requesting.
I guess that answers that question, doesn't it? You've already allowed it in the past as a...
They just never asked for permission. Yeah, they did. They got the building permit. Permits them coming and into.
Just the one. Yeah, he got it.
Okay, all right. The problem is that there needs to be a higher end, and I personally take my dog to him, and I would welcome her opening the business. She does a great job. She's great with animals, has great customer service, and you need to have options for people. Just like you might not go to one hair salon, you have to have options. And there's plenty of buildings in downtown Cedar Springs, and why aren't we opening up our arms and welcoming these people in? All it's going to do is, people are going to drive from Rockford, people are going to drive from Tri-County. It's going to bring more business into the city.
So the two options, the two options that she was talking, the one next to the karate place is gonna have more parking for without having to have the dogs crossing the road too much. Oh, boy. Or crosswalk.
So, how, in our couple of different options that you gave there, how would we proceed? What would the next step be so that they know and we know what?
Well, in zoning and planning and zoning, we obviously look to follow whatever's written in the ordinance, but if you have had a past practice of allowing a particular use in a district, you also want to be fair and equitable to everybody that comes in. So if that's been a practice, the recommendation is usually to continue that practice as long as it's similar in use and activity. And in the meantime, we can add that to our list of amendments when we look at the use table, because there's a couple of other things we're going to have to amend too. But it's been allowed by the city in that particular district. Can't really say no at this point in time. So that's why this is a good discussion, because I had no way of knowing it.
So can they, would it be all right for them to take the next step to start working on their site plan, to get to you, and start that whole procedure rolling?
Yeah, if they're just occupying an existing building, it's all they would have to do is get an occupancy permit from building, if anything, depending on whether or not they have any, remodeling on the interior.
In other words, they would look for electrical or plumbing permits.
Yeah. So it really wouldn't fall into our realm. We would just in the future want to add that to our table of uses where it's permitted. I don't really have a problem with the use and what they're proposing. Just there, with any of the uses like that, you just don't have a little bit of boarding because that comes with pet boarding.
Right.
So as long as it's just grooming.
So then Barb, should I call you tomorrow? Okay. So, would you call the city manager tomorrow?
Yeah.
And start getting things rolling?
Yeah. Thank you.
And then whenever, we look at that use table again, then we'll put that in there.
Yeah, we got a couple of those we need to figure out.
Yes.
Would that be basically grandfathered in then at that point, and then do we, in the wording, specify that it cannot be overnight boarding?
Well, it's really applied to the property itself. And these uses can move around. I think what you're doing at this point is you're recognizing that it's been a use that traditionally has been allowed in the E2 district, even though it's not spelled out in the table of uses, but it's different enough from pet boarding facility. But I think the point at which they or anyone else started with board dogs, it would then become a pet boarding facility, and it wouldn't be allowed in that district. And if it were, you need a special land. So I think as long as there's no boarding, I think you're perfectly safe to allow that to go in there, because it has been allowed in the past.
And then where are we on the master plan progress?
Yeah, we're continuing to make the edits, which I thought would be really totally simple. And then but they will be on the next agenda. So, I know there were a few, but we just,
Right. Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor, aye? Opposed? Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned. Yeah, that's your vote.